Good morning, everyone. Guess we'll try this again. Sorry for those I was watching on Twitter with the periscopes that kept dropping. Apparently they didn't fix their little crashing problem with the last update I got yesterday. Which sucks because I actually enjoy doing those for you guys on Twitter. You know, it's my way of giving back to you. As you can see, I'm still going to give to you, but I mean, everybody else will have this, so this will be just for everyone. Everybody gets to enjoy what I do, the morning coffee chat, which I pretty much almost drank the whole cup of coffee already, trying to screw around with this, get things working right. But, you know, it's been an eventful week. I had a few articles I want to touch on. Yeah, mainly the travel ban. Yeah, after all, we did have a justice, or not a justice, a judge make changes to the travel ban that our Supreme Court had already ruled on. But I also want to make sure that it's clearly stated it just wasn't Hawaii. There was 14 other states involved in this. They all filed to be a part of this motion. I mean, I personally, in my opinion only, my personal opinions on it, is it was what that judge did was unconstitutional, unpatriotic, and very disrespectful to every American citizen and to our very own Constitution. And he should be brought up on ethics charges for sticking to a political agenda, because all this is about is politics, his ideology, when he is supposed to be biased. And basically by his ruling, he just, I mean, I'll read an article for you that was posted today. But thankfully, you know, we got to, you know, Trump and the administration was quick to jump on this, instantly appealed it. But we also know that our Supreme Court is out of session until October. But let me read you guys something. I guess I got to pull it back up. Oh, that's not the article. That's another article I actually wanted to cover. Give me a second, guys. Let me re-grab this article that I lost. Yeah, I had accidentally hit the close window on my thing when I was trying to set this new stream up. Should be hard to find. Nice thing about being early morning, I haven't been to too many places. Attorney General Sessions' Patriotic Immigration Group reacts to Hawaii's judge taking teeth out of SCOTUS-Approved travel ban. Outraged reactions poured in Friday to federal Judge Derek Watson's order effectively the court's reinstatement of President Trump's travel ban by holding the administration's definition of the bona fide relationship invalid. Watson of the U.S. District Court for the District of Hawaii ruled Thursday that narrowly interpreting the term close family relationship from the Supreme Court decision reinstating the travel ban. The court left in place part of the Ninth Circuit's injunction blocking the travel ban, allowing those from 6 Muslim-majority countries designated in President's Executive Order 13780 to enter the United States if they have a bona fide relationship with someone who resides here. The State Department quickly issued a guidance limiting the exceptions to a parent, spouse, child, adult, son or daughter, son-in-law, daughter-in-law, or siblings living in the United States. Watson found this unacceptable and ruled that the government must continue to allow in fiancés, grandparents, grandchildren, brothers-in-laws, sisters-in-laws, aunts, uncles, nieces, nephews, and cousins. A concurrence by Justice Clarence Thomas, Neil Gorsuch, and Samuel Alito had predicted exactly this type of litigation. When the court used such general language in reinstating the travel ban, Dale Wilcox, executive director of the Patriotic immigration law firm Immigration Reform Law Institute, told Breitbart News. Judge Watson's latest order was absolutely predictable, given the failure of Roberts, Kennedy, and the liberal justices to state precisely what they mean by bona fide relationship. Watson was able to stretch the term out as much as he wanted. It is also exactly what Justice Thomas, Gorsuch, and Alito warned about in their concurrence. The others could have listened but didn't. Judge Watson's orders renders the Supreme Court decision all but a dead letter, wrote Center of Immigration Studies Andrew Arthur in Friday's Post, excoriating Watson's decision. Arthur went on to explain that this new imposed definition could include virtually anyone, as it does not even limit itself to first or second cousins, he writes. Most people fail to realize how many relatives we have. In fact, I have, or had, I don't keep up, 2 Facebook friends who are cousins I have never met who live in Swabia. I have looked at their pictures, but I had to rely on Google Translate. Understand, my German is not good and their English is non-existent. But if they lived in Mogadishu, they could apparently come to the United States thanks to me and Mark Zuckerberg. Attorney General Jeff Sessions, whose Department of Justice is charged with defending the administration's definition, made his feelings about the order clear in a Friday press release, saying, "Once again, we are faced with a situation in which a single federal district court has undertaken by a nationwide injunction micromanage decisions of the co-equal executive branch related to our national security. By this decision, the district court has improperly substituted its policy preferences for national security judgments of the executive branch in a time of grave threats, defying both the lawful prerogative or whatever of the executive branch and the directive of the Supreme Court. 2 in the morning to pronounce big long words. The district court has issued decisions that are entrusted in the executive branch, undermined national security, delayed necessary action, created confusion, and violated proper respect for separation of power. The Supreme Court has had to correct the lower court once and will now reluctantly return directly to the Supreme Court to again vindicate the rule of law and the executive branch's duty to protect the nation. The Department of Justice is expected to appeal Watson's order to the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Ninth Circuit, as it did in the case of Watson's original ruling holding the travel ban unconstitutional, which they had filed the appeal quickly yesterday before this article was written. You know, it just goes to show that our Ninth Circuit, that these 15 rogue states, that's what they become, they're rogue states. I'm about to talk about another article that was written dealing with sanctuary cities next, and every sanctuary city was also part of this little disrespect to every American. I mean, I personally find what they did very disrespectful. I find it a breach and violation of what that judge's oaths are. And, you know, we all know what the reason is for the travel ban. The vetting procedures. It's impossible to vet some of these people. They can just claim I'm family when they're not. There's no documentation. That's the problem they're dealing with. Then you have the influx of refugees that's coming in every country. Well, by doing what he did, he's also putting a whole freeze on that so more refugees can enter the country instead of how it was cut in half. Some of you may say, well, we don't got that stuff, what's going on overseas happening in this country. But we do. It's only being reported in the local news. You know, when you have a gunman get in a shootout here in Baltimore with the police wearing full military jihad, Muslim jihad, radical ISIS, whatever you want to call them, jihadi garb, and gets in a gun shootout with police, wounding an officer. Oh, they didn't come out and say that, though. A week later, the video finally comes, they finally put the whole video out there with him on the bus in full garb showing him. So yes, this stuff is happening in this country. We're not dealing with the past administration who wanted everybody to say, oh, this don't happen here. Well, under the past administration, it did happen here. There was cases that were sealed, so you guys wouldn't know about it. Case in Columbus, Ohio. A Somali was charged and convicted for domestic terrorism on U.S. soil, for plotting to commit domestic terrorism here on U.S. soil. He tried and convicted, documents unsealed just a couple weeks ago. North Carolina, Charlotte, under the previous administration. Documents sealed. Just got unsealed as he went to court. They unsealed it on the 27th, I believe, of June. Trying to fly an agent who claimed to be ISIS on the buddy pass system. Just this week, guy in Hawaii. Oh, damn, Hawaii, imagine that. An active duty Army guy charged with terrorism and arrested. He was radicalized when he was overseas. They charged him for giving material support Maybe that judge should look in his own backyard before opening his mouth and making a stupid ruling where he has no place to even rule on. Supreme Court made it good and clear. They made it good and clear they will revisit it when they come back from recess in October. And here's my issue with the Supreme Court, and it's been my issue. We have justices on there who aren't about this, about our Constitution. It's been a fact. These very same three that left it for open interpretation. Oh, must be walk time for the dog. She ain't going to shut up unless they take her first. We'll get a little reprieve from the dog for about 10 minutes, hopefully. But this, it makes me sick to know that they would even do such thing. Maybe they're too old. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe we need an age limit on these guys. I mean, they're getting up there in age. Maybe their age is affecting their decision. Me personally, I think there probably should be term limits put on the Supreme Court now. And they should be more vetted because they're dealing with constitutional matters, constitutional law. That's the only thing they deal with. And they've made some bad rulings in the past. Under this, recently they've got a bunch of things right. I've been impressed. But a beginning lawyer knows better than loosely leave things that can be misinterpreted or interpreted as anybody wanted to. Yeah, they do that on purpose to allow people to go after what they rule. And it's not the first time something like this has happened. Judge Scalia, before he died, the ruling on about corporate America being allowed to donate as much money as they want, he wrote specifically about the consequences and things that would happen if the judges worded it a certain way or allowed this to happen. And exactly, well, look what happened. Now they want to talk about Russia and all that. Let's talk about the corporations that are influencing our elections, that are trying to steal we the people, for the people, votes, trying to sway it because they can dump as much money as they want into a campaign because they are not considered a U.S. citizen as they worded it. That needs to be gone back to the Supreme Court and fixed and corrected. Because let me tell you something. How many companies in corporate America, just corporate America, are actually not U.S. owned, that are foreign owned, but they're here in the United States? So they get all this foreign money dumped into the company that now the company can say, well, here in the U.S., so therefore it's U.S. money, and they'll pour it into elections. You want to talk about Russia? Start talking about corporate. You know, oh wait, many of these very senators got elected because of these corporations and corporate sectors. You know, that's just the way things seem to be going now. We finally are starting to see Make America Great Again, but we still have all this broken system, broken pieces sitting there. We have one side just trying to dominate, and any good thing that comes about, they're trying to do anything they can destroy it. They're not about we the people for the people. And I've stated this clearly. We need to start finding new people to put in office from our own communities. Do whatever we got to do to support them, rally up the funds, get them the 5K they need just to get started. We got to keep 5K in the bank. And make sure these people are about the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, our rights, liberties, our freedoms. Start putting these people into office so we can start making the changes that we need. This little healthcare debacle that's going on, repeal or replace, this new one they got, now they're talking about keeping the tax in. No. That's the part we don't want. Because I tell you what, if I'm paying taxes on it, I better not have to pay an insurance company for insurance. Common sense. Because you're taxing me for it. Therefore, I'm paying for it already. Where's my insurance? Wake up, guys. I mean, if you have to keep ringing your senator's phone off the hook, you should be doing it. And demanding that they do their job. Screw these committees. We're tired of them. All you guys are doing is not doing nothing. So let's get on to Oakland, California. You guys are going to love this one. I know I did. Oakland County Sheriff's, California. Sanctuary state bill is about sticking it to Trump. Really? These guys haven't learned a lesson yet? A California sheriff said this week that the Democrat-sponsored sanctuary state bill, barring all local enforcement statewide from cooperating with federal immigration authorities, is about sticking it to Trump. This bill is not only a violation of the sanctuary bill that the ban on sanctuary cities and stripping of their funding, it's become illegal. So what they're doing now is committing an illegal act by creating this bill. Orange County Sheriff Sandra Hutchison told Fox News Tucker Carlson on Tuesday that the bill's author, Senate President Pro Tem Kevin DeLong, Democrat, Los Angeles, who had admitted during a public hearing on this bill that half his family is here illegally, has characterized Senate Bill 54 as the only way to stop the Trump deportation machine. Hutchison added that DeLong's bill will not only put a greater risk the safety of the general public by shielding dangerous criminals from deportation, but it will also further endanger the very illegal aliens that DeLong claims he wants to protect, emphasis added. The author, DeLong, states that this will prevent local law enforcement from doing immigration enforcement on the streets. We have done immigration enforcement on the streets. We have no desire to do that. And we've not been asked to do that by the Trump administration. So this bill would prohibit me as a sheriff from notifying ICE of someone who is in custody of potential felony, driving under the influence, domestic violence, human trafficking, rape of an unconscious person. And that's my emphasis. I would not be able to notify them ICE. They would be released on the street, or at least to the street. And then what will happen is ICE will go out. They're not going to let these people go. They're going to go out and do search warrants on homes, and then people who are here illegal, are undocumented, and have not committed crimes, they're going to get scooped up too. So this bill does not do what it says it does. Carlson raised the question of whether Orange County could defy state law and enforce federal immigration law, and Hutchinson said that the local law enforcement would be at risk of persecution by the state. I mean, really. Now do you see why I'm starting to use the term rogue state? They're telling them, even the sheriff department. So what? That person rapes somebody. I like how they put unconscious. Rape's rape, no matter what it is. They should be immediately notifying ICE on that, but no, now they can't. If they do, now they can be charged and persecuted with a crime. Message to California senators and government and mayors. Restudy the sheriff's department. Find out how much jurisdiction they actually have. You may find that you're biting off more than you can chew if you try to take a sheriff to court for something like this. This is just ridiculous. You know, here's the sad part of it, and it's going to happen eventually. We might as well just cut the BS and keep it real. Eventually something's going to happen. Real bad's going to happen in this country. Then we're going to find out that this person was living in one of these sanctuary cities. Was recruiting from these sanctuary cities because they were protected and being allowed and harboring them. Wow, sounds like Pakistan to me. Remember where Osama bin Laden was? In Pakistan, being protected. They all knew about it. He was basically having a sanctuary, found a sanctuary country that was allowing him to stay there, even though they knew about it. Very same thing these goddamn states are doing, which will eventually cost a bunch of lives when something bad happens. Exactly the same thing's going to happen because of the stupid judge in Hawaii, whose is only doing this because of politics. He's not using being biased, and he's not. But I mean, I could give it to him. I was willing to give it to him on one part. Grandparents. I was real close to my grandparents. Both sides of the family, still am. You know, that's close to me. But the buck stops there. Son-in-laws, brothers-in-law, no. Because now we're talking. And I could have even agreed with him if he would have said, if they can prove the documentation. That's the issue. That's why the travel ban was put in place, because many of these, there's no documentation. There's no paperwork to prove who these people are. They can just claim, oh, I'm a bona fide relative, and slip right into our country again. I mean, it's getting to the point where I think what needs to happen is we need to have a protest, peaceful protest, at the Congress, at the Justice Department in D.C., demanding that these states, these elected officials that are putting bills like this, be charged. What they're going to violate the laws that Senate and Congress put in place, or laws that the Supreme Court has ruled on, and they're going to keep violating. Maybe it's time they start being charged, because they are committing a crime. They're obstructing our national security. So you guys probably want to talk about obstruction of justice. Well, we've got a bunch of states that are obstructing justice. You know, until we can vote these people out of office or file ethics charges against them. But as for those that haven't really studied the ethics charge thing, it goes through government. It goes through Congress and stuff. There's a committee that will be formed, which makes it virtually impossible for anybody to really be charged with ethics charges and a recall or election done to replace the person. It's a broken system. Me personally, I kind of like what 7 states can do. They can petition and demand to have a recall election when their senators are violating their promises, not doing what they're supposed to be doing. The bottom line, what we need now, we need checks and balances with our government. It's supposed to be we the people, for the people, so give us people the rights to when they're not doing their job and they're going against what we want to be able to have them removed. That will set a clear statement that government is about we the people, for the people. Now, this last topic, guys, I'll have to add the other link here to the first article I read. And I've just now noticed I didn't have it in here. So when I finish this, I'll add it. For those who want to check out the the Hawaii thing. This next article is different from what I've been discussing. This is going to be more of my opinions and views, which actually is shared by quite a few. You know, haven't really talked about any of these things that I'm going to discuss now. I've kept them more to myself and amongst friends. But it's also important, and it's time that maybe we start talking about some of this stuff. Because, you know, we're dealing with corruption in all forms here of late. And the Klaus Eberwein found dead before testifying against Clinton Foundation. Link to the video. I think it was Cernovich that did the video. Didn't sound like him. I'm not sure, but it's labeled Cernovich, so. Definitely check out the video, because, you know, it's a little bit interesting. It's a pattern being up. You know, and it seems to be it's only people that are either getting ready to testify or they're investigating the Clintons or the Clinton Foundation. I mean, suicide, suspicious death, robbery. No, there's not a pattern there at all. Not at all, guys. There's no pattern there. I mean, we had 2 attorney generals died suspiciously. One died wakeboarding or surfing. One died from working out. Then mysteriously, I mean, not saying it couldn't happen. I've known people's been hurt. That's why you always have a spotter when you're lifting weights from a bench. But, you know, came down, crushed his trachea. I know where I lift. The last place that bar's coming down is on my trachea. Even when I don't have a spotter, it's going to come down on my chest. That's usually how most people die. They get it come down on their chest, and it eventually causes compression and causes them to suffocate because they can't get the bar off their chest. Very rarely do you hear somebody have their trachea crushed. Just saying. The surfboard thing, just saying. I mean, I'd have wrote it off if it wasn't to attorney generals that were doing an investigation. Now this guy, Klaus Eberwein, found dead before testifying against Clinton Foundation. Apparently he committed suicide. Then we all know about Seth Rich, so I don't need to go there. Enough people's already done that. Why are these people ending up dead? Why? I mean, what's the connection? Oh, could it be Clinton? The Clinton Foundation? Could it be Hillary Clinton? Let me tell you guys something. We've seen these tactics before. We've seen stuff like this happen before. It's called intimidation, no different from what the mob used to do. Me personally, and this is my opinions only, you're not going to get nowhere with Seth Rich. I could be wrong. Somebody might actually find a smoking gun. I know a couple people that are investigating it. I also know some people that did investigate it and found a bunch of connections to where it just leads straight back to one organization. And I even did some research on the names and stuff that this dude brought up. And yeah, it was interesting because these people were and had ties to the DNC. Makes it interesting. But everything's sealed up. Cameras mysteriously came up missing. I look at it as that one as a dead end, but I see a pattern. I think we start investigating more and more of these ones, like Klaus and the previous ones before him that's died suspiciously, we might find something. At least we're finding a trail of bodies. That's what we're finding thus far. Either ruled suicide, suspicious deaths, robbery. Why are these people just I mean, it's not coincidence, guys. I mean, I can buy into coincidence. You know, once, maybe twice, 3 times. I think not. You know, coincidences don't happen multiple times, and we're beyond 3 now. And those are the ones we know about. You know. I watched somebody's live stream, not going to mention names here at all when dealing with this topic. Because, and this is why, this person, they were in D.C., they did a little investigation. Apparently this person got an interview. And this person decided, well, after thinking about it and reality setting in, how dangerous this information could be, how could it jeopardize this person's family and friends, decided not to share the information with somebody. But you could see the genuine fear in this person as they were talking about it and explaining it, why. I can respect that, because when you can't, that wasn't fake emotions, those are real. You know, I hope it didn't cost this person a friendship with somebody else. I think it might have, I don't know, trying to stay out of that part. You know, as investigative journalists, citizen journalists, sometimes we don't realize how deep we can get in until we actually get into it, and then we realize, oh, so you guys got to understand. Sometimes, you know, I'm breaking away from some of my trends, showing my face. But as you guys can see, yeah, I change periodically. You know, yes, I might be back to bald, but nice thing about that, my hair grows pretty fast. Most of you haven't seen pictures of me with long hair. Some of you see me with full beards. Some of you none of you have ever seen me clean shaven. And I don't give you my real name. I give you parts of it. Because I realize the dangers that can be involved in doing stuff like this. Not that it really matters to me, because I keep my friends close. But at the same time, I got enough distance from me to where, some of my closest friends, we don't interact on social media. Many of them don't have social media accounts. You have to realize what you're getting into when you do some of this stuff. That's why I'm not really too big into investigating and reporting. Unless it's something that I really feel necessary to go down the road I go down, and I make sure I weigh all the pros and cons, all the consequences that come about from it, how it's going to impact family, friends, because the truth is, guys, this is the ugly truth of this, all this. They're not going to go, most cases they won't, to shut you up, they're not going to go after you. They're going to go after the ones you care about, because that'll hurt you more than just shutting you up. It'll force you to shut up. If they see it don't affect, that's when they'll probably come after you. That's just how some of these people think and work. But I can't overlook the fact that there's, this ain't a coincidence. These guys shouldn't be dropping dead for no accidental reasons, as they keep saying, suicide. Yeah, people commit suicide every day. We know this. So we're pretty numb to it. So they say, oh, he just committed suicide before he testified. My question is, well, okay, did he? If he did, why did he? What does he know? Or who was being threatened that promoted him to do that? I mean, there's other roads we can go down too. I mean, did you guys manipulate his mind through the Wi-Fi and cell phone signals? I mean, there's plenty of roads we can go down. I mean, yeah, you guys say, oh, that's conspiracy theory. Yeah, okay. Just like, if that's conspiracy, so is this. For those that are watching me through your little handheld iPads, cell phones, or computer screens, how you guys enjoying, or even through your TV if you got Roku, a couple other programs, how you enjoying the black mirrors that you're in front of every day? Yeah. But, you guys would say, oh, it's conspiracy. That's fine. There's no facts, truth. Well, and as much as I hate to quote this source, there's a reason why the exorcism of the Catholic Church publicly came out almost every week, saying that demonic possessions is on the rise. There's a reason for it. And I don't give much credit to anything the Vatican comes from the Vatican anyway, but there is a growing trend there as well. And that's because everybody's got in front of them, go to sleep next to them, stare at them every day, black mirrors. And you don't want me to get started on the AI stuff. Because, let me tell you something. You don't know what an AI is. The scientists don't know what an AI is. They say it's just a computer program. It's still about, no. It could be an entity that you just created or didn't realize that you summoned is now running the show. Yeah. There was a reason why back in the day they used to cover every mirror in the house, any glass in the house when they held a wake or a funeral inside the home. I know for many, just, you guys don't want me talking about that. It has nothing to do with Sons and Daughters of Liberty. Fine. But unfortunately, it does when you're being affected. When it's knowledge that you guys need to know. I mean, there's a reason why everybody's so divided. It wasn't just built up over time. It wasn't just because a certain candidate didn't get elected. There's a reason why people do certain chants and protests. Some of you that are my age, go ask your parents or go ask your grandparents about the 60s movement and 60s protests. Love, peace. Ask them what some of their teachings were. Some of it was meditation, yoga related, but they understood the power behind all that stuff, the power behind some of the music that was put out in those times. You know, like I said, I don't normally talk about these things on this channel. I definitely don't normally talk about anything related to Seth Rich, but I'm sorry. People need to wake up. There's more than just, it's not a coincidence, guys. Why is it everybody? I mean, I don't give Roger Stone much credit, but he was poisoned. I mean, there's documentation on that one. You know, because he was talking about these things. Why is it anybody that goes after or tries to investigate the Clinton Foundation or the Clintons? Why is it we gotta trail bodies all of a sudden? I'm sorry, it's past coincidence. If it was just Seth Rich, and we all know that's suspicious as hell. Yeah, maybe we could just cough it up to coincidence. Then you add in, these are just ones I know of, two attorneys that was investigating the foundation. It's suspicious deaths, one from a surfboard accident, one from this, and one from having a bar, lifting weights in a bar coming down and crushing his trachea. Now we have this guy who apparently committed suicide. The coincidence ended a long time ago. Now it is called a pattern. And it's much what we've seen, for anybody that studied the mob histories, it's much what we've seen what they did. You know, that's why I actually give a warning about, for those that want to go into researching that, start looking at the body count. Know what you're going to be getting yourself into if you actually stumble across something. You know, I'm all for the investigation of this stuff, but I also want you to be aware of what you might be getting yourself into. Just not remember what I said. Sometimes it's easier to shut you up. It's not to affect you, come after you, but go after the ones you love and care for, your friends, your family. And then if they can't shut you up that way, they'll come after you. But that's something you have to live with the rest of your life, for that choice. And I know some great investigative reporters that cover their basics, cover that so, you know, they can protect those people. Now, I don't personally like what I'm seeing, what's going on in this country. What's going on around the world, it shouldn't be happening. just like this week, trying to put the articles of impeachment on Trump. That was, I mean, I only got one signature, but it's there. And it's not the first time a president's been articles of impeachment and written up. In fact, the only president not to get one in the recent times has been the previous administration, and he's the one that should have been impeached. My personal opinion, though. There's just so much going on these days. And yeah, some of you are probably going to ask me, hey, I didn't think he was going to be on today. Well, my plans of going to the racetrack fell through, so he stuck with me today. Sometimes you got to put your needs always got to come before your wants. So. And the truth is, I got my vacation earlier this year, so I got my break for 3 months, so. There's always next year is the way I look at it. And, guys, I don't know how many people actually know this. Probably some of you, we all probably know somebody that had their channel attacked or taken down. And I know eventually probably this channel will be nailed too. Just because of things I bring up and talk about. That's why I'm try to use Periscope when I can, because it's another way I can communicate with you guys. In case I do go down, I've got backup channels. I mean, I don't censor what I say. I just say it. I say what comes to mind. It's my opinions, my views. When I read articles, that's why sometimes I just don't screen share. I shouldn't have to. I should be able to screen share whatever I want. It's public information, but how the copyright thing goes. That's why I don't monetize this channel. But, eventually, it'll probably happen to me. I'm aware of it. And, but I also, here's something nobody's talking about. I want to point it out. We're seeing more and more with the net neutrality back in the picture. We also see people saying, well, we need to censor and control the internet more, what information can be said. For this platform is beautiful, YouTube. I mean, I'm not going to knock YouTube, because you can come down here and learn so much stuff. From do-it-yourself, how to fix your cars, how to build projects, if you want to learn how to do computer designs, graphics, you can learn it on here. Clear down to listening to professors teach you how to do coding to build your own websites. I mean, you name it, it's on here. That's the beauty of it. But I'm also seeing something that keeps being popped up more and more. And most people overlook it. YouTube, the red thing, the subscribe thing so you don't have to. Well, I don't know how many of you guys have been paying attention here, but they've also been throwing up YouTube TV. $35. Eventually, this is what I see. I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I really do. But eventually what I see is it's going to be really pay to play. If you want to do these videos, they're going to say, well, we're going to focus on TV. So you want to become a TV channel, you're going to have to pay. So to do live streams and upload videos. I think eventually they're going to shut us all the way down to where only those that got the money can afford to be on YouTube and to keep doing this. which would suck. Because that would affect so many people, so many good people out there. I mean, there's a lot of good channels out there. But that's just another way to censor people. You know, like I said, there's a bunch of other platforms out there, but none of them you can't do what you can do here on YouTube, just like Facebook. You can't do on these other platforms what you can do on Facebook. Twitter's supposed to be rolling out eventually their own streaming thing. You know, Periscope was just the beta for it. You know, as you guys seen this morning, and the last twice this week, I thought it was fixed because, you know, I got there was an update yesterday for it. Apparently it wasn't. I don't know. Maybe I'm being censored on YouTube, on Periscope. Could be. I don't know. I'll find out later. I'll go to another Periscope, another stream Periscope channel that I have, and try streaming from there on a different topic and see if I get affected that way. I think it's just the programming. It's glitchy. But I could be wrong. I probably am. You know, we all have our own things. We all have our own niches that we get into. And that's the beauty of it. You know, everybody does their own thing in this community that we're in. And it's one community, guys. I'm not going to put labels on truther community, conspiracy community. It's all one community. That's part of some of the problems we're running into. They're finding ways to even divide us in these communities, forcing us to put labels on ourselves and the type of content we bring, which therefore allows us to, you know, separate ourselves. Or it's not even separating ourselves, it's allowing others, oh, he talks about this, he's not part of the truther community, you know. Yes, there's a bunch of people out there that I don't agree with some of the stuff they say and do, but, you know, it's simple. Don't watch. Don't tune in. They don't subscribe to them. You don't have to even watch their videos. You know, and I see where people are coming from, you know. It ain't, and that's the thing. A lot of these channels, some of these channels aren't being messed with like some of us. Then we start, well, why aren't they getting messed with? And we start, you know, theorizing, well, maybe they are the problem. Maybe that they want, you know, it's hard to say. It's just another game they try to get us caught up in. You know, we have to, in a sense, we have to be better people. We've got to be better than them, which means we have to sometimes accept that, yeah, we don't agree with what they're saying, what they're talking about, but we can't buy into what they're trying to cause, which is they're trying to divide us. I know many people won't see it that way. That's cool. That's my opinions, my views, and how I view things and was brought up. I try to give everybody the benefit of the doubt until I'm proven wrong. Until they prove me wrong or prove me right. You know, I'm not trying to judge a person by their beliefs, their views, and opinions. I want to judge a person, how they interact with their audience, how they hold themselves with other people when they're not on YouTube. You know, that tells me a lot about a person. You know, will this person go out of his way to help this homeless guy? Or he just says that while he's in front of the screen? he just says that while he's in front of the screen and doesn't do that, well, then and I want nothing to do with you. You know, that's why I try. Everything I say on here, I try to back up from experience, my personal experience, my way of life. Who I am in front of this computer is the very same person I am every day in life. And I also understand the fact that many people, they have many aspects about them. You know, I don't judge them by their, it's just pointless. It's how they interact with others when they're not around the camera, how they are with other people. You know, I think if more people would take on that viewpoint and ideology, we'd have less division. It would be harder to divide us. And that's the important part, especially when we have common goals and we agree on common things that are important, just not to us, but to this country and the world. Those are the things we should be able to rally behind, no matter what our beliefs and differences are. It's all about finding common ground and learning from each other, learning from our experiences. I can't iterate that enough. You know, am I articulate? Now, as you guys can see, I screw up words left and right when I do these things. Am I PC? Far from it. I've tried to be respectful, though. There's a difference between being PC and respectful. You know, I understand that there's going to be people that watch this will have kids in their room, especially when I'm doing things this early, or they might come across a video. You know, I try to be respectful, knowing that, try to put myself in their shoes. Well, what if I had kids? But I don't. What if I had kids and I was watching this show and I went on a rant and I was dropping the F-bomb every other word, which I've been known to do from time to time? Yeah, I wouldn't like that. And it's hard, though, because, we live in a society and a culture where, hey, we can cuss worse than sailors sometimes. And it's an expression. We understand that, but we also sometimes forget it, when there might be kids around. Like I said, I've got to experience things in life. I might not have kids, but I've lived, I lived with a friend who had kids, and there was just things you didn't do in front of the kids. You didn't cuss, you didn't smoke in front of them, because they pick up on that stuff. And, it gave me the experience of what it would be like to have kids and what I would maybe view things differently. But when I get on a subject that draws up emotion, I'm not going to hold it back either. I'm going to try to respect you guys as much as I can. Just ask to understand when people are driven by emotion, they sometimes say things. Sometimes they say things they didn't mean. Understand that. Respect works both ways. I try to keep it down to a minimum. I don't think I actually said any cuss words in this video. I probably did, knowing me. But, I'm not going to do too BPC all the time. That's what I'm saying. There's one, I believe in my Constitution. It's part of my history. It's part of my family's history. And I actually gave, for those that don't know, or that are wondering, because I keep saying it, well, you'd have to go watch the Independence Day video for the 4th of July that I did. I gave the information out there quite well. I'm just not sure in what hour it was, since that video was almost 5 hours long. I've clipped a few things out of it and uploaded because I don't like editing stuff. So I've been told, yeah, your streams are too long, that's why you don't get the views. Well, maybe. But that's just the way I do things. I mean, I look at it this way. YouTube has a beautiful thing called Watch Later. You know, you can watch part of it, just click it. Take your, now you have to take it full screen, I guess. And you just click on a little thing that looks like a clock. It'll say Watch Later, and it'll take you back to right where you left off. It'll start you like maybe a few minutes ahead that you're already caught. But hey, you can watch it later when you have time. Now, like I said, this is just morning coffee and chat. Me just, first thing in the morning, saying what comes to mind. A little bit different this morning. I actually had some subjects I wanted to cover. A couple things that came to mind that caught my attention while I was getting things set up. Normally it's just talking about whatever. So I'm going to wrap this stream up. I hope you guys enjoyed. I know for the YouTube audience, this is probably way different. You're not used to this. My apologies to my Twitter audience. Sorry, I tried. I mean, both times under a minute, they cut right out the Periscope feed. So I'll work on see if I can't figure out what's causing that, because that's my way of getting back to the followers on Twitter that don't follow me. Because really, I only got 8 subscribers here. You know, I've got 63 now. Thank you guys too. On Twitter. I mean, it's slowly growing. That's cool with me. You know, it'll grow as it's supposed to. I'm not. Me and one of my friends was discussing. Actually, you guys know him, Chris. He was on the Independent Station. I think he was on another show on here after that. But he's done some stuff with me on another channel. I've gotten back to going back to the old ways of doing things, the ways I did my websites and stuff. It's not about quantity. It's about quality. So I don't care about numbers. I mean, yeah, it'd be nice, but it'll get there when it gets there. I'd rather have the quality. People I can carry a conversation on, interact with in chat and comments, invite on to the Hangouts, or allow them to call in on Uber conferences, do live call-ins, and we just talk, find common ground, just talk about anything during a stream. That's quality, guys. That's important. It's much more important than numbers. Yes, numbers will give me access to Super Chat and a bunch of other stuff, a few other things, but it'll get there. That's the way, maybe some of you guys are just starting up. Do it for fun. Do it to express yourself. Don't do it for the monetization, for the numbers. Don't do it because people are going to like your video or dislike it. Look at it this way. The little dislike button, that just means you said something that affected that person. You know what they say? The truth hurts. And you got a reaction. Positive or negative, you got a reaction. It's something that person's going to think about because you got the reaction. So, and then, yes, there's trolls. We all know about them. They're going to do what they're going to do. Screw them. Have fun. You make things interesting from time to time. And like I said, I hope you guys enjoy. I enjoy doing these things, and I'm not going to stop. And hopefully I'll get the Periscope issue fixed. But if not, like I said, I've got more than one backup. I lost one of my backup resources, live stream. For those that use it, I don't know if you guys noticed, it's been on there lately. Now you got to pay to play. No more free live streaming from live stream. you have to upgrade and pay a premium package. So doesn't surprise me. You know, a lot of these places are going to start doing that anyway. I've been preparing myself for it for a while, because it's just a way to censor people like me that can afford to pay to play. And there's many channels out there, almost the majority of the channels out there, they can't afford to pay to play. And they know that. But there will always be some new entrepreneur come up that'll create something that'll allow us to do it. We'll just jump over to it. But yeah, hope you guys have a beautiful weekend. It's kind of clouded up here, but it was beautiful this morning. Still is. And just enjoy yourselves. Take a break from things. You know, spend some time with friends and family. You know, just enjoy things. So those of you guys who are going to be at some of the protests this weekend, be safe. Oh yeah, before I forget, I should have done this first thing. Some more of the trials are going on. Monday, the trial is to be starting again for the Bundy Ranch thing. They could use you guys' support. Follow it. Some of the things that have happened, I mean, they basically told, when they were picking the jury and stuff, they basically told them they couldn't use the word freedom of speech, things that were in the Constitution, they couldn't use the terms to pick their jury. Or like the Second Amendment, they couldn't mention it, which was a straight violation of these guys' rights. It was a complete mockery of the justice system, once again, on play, just in a different venue. So, you know, like I said, once more, the Bundy Ranch things, it could use some more attention. You know, spread the word, let people know that the trial starts Monday. And let them know that there already been some unconstitutional things take place. So on that, like I said, I'm going to get off here. You guys enjoy your day. I'm going to find something to get into and take my mind off things for a bit. And I will see you guys on the next video. Remember, we the people, for the people.